Greetings, friends. My name is Pavel Stelmach, and I'm glad to present for you the new episode of our daily wrap-up series. Ukraine continues to use all platforms to show the true face of Russia. This time, during a speech at the World Economic Forum, Volodymyr Zelenskyy talked about the missile attack on the Dnipro and the plane crash in Brovary. These are the last events of the days from which Ukrainians still cannot recover. A Russian missile hit a high-rise building in Dnipro, killing civilians, and then a helicopter crashed near Kiev. It not only fell near a kindergarten, but also took the lives of civilians, the children of the heart of the Ministry of the Internal Affairs Monastyrsky, First Deputy Minister Yenin, and State Secretary Lubkovich. All of them, during the speech of the Ukrainian president, were honored with a moment of silence. And, of course, the main words of the president were about the war. Volodymyr Zelenskyy called on the international community to help Ukraine end it as soon as possible. He said that the mobilization of the world should precede the next mobilization of Russia. The world needs determination and speed.
The time the free world uses to think is used by the terrorist state to kill. Ukraine and its allies have been resisting it for almost a year. This period proved all our prompt actions brought positive results. The opening of European borders for Ukrainians, the grain deal, the energy unity. Together they saved millions of lives. And not only in Ukraine. The world cannot keep the pace with changes and challenges. The list of crises, global security, environmental, food security, energy ones, needs to be amended with another one, the time crisis. The list of calls for decisive, efficient joint actions needs to be expanded with one more, the call for speed, the speed of decisions making, reaction of the civilized world. Tragedies are outpacing life. The tyranny is outpacing the democracy. Russia needed less than 1 second to start the war. The world needed days to react with first sanctions.
Zelenskyy also reminded that the war always slows down in winter due to understandable circumstances and reasons. Nature is getting tired, people are getting tired, but despite this, battles continue daily in the east of Ukraine. For weeks, messages from Bakhmut and Soledar have not disappeared from the Ukrainian media. Our soldiers stand there and protect our country, and it all of Europe.
We are standing strongly, resolutely. I am thankful to all of our warriors, the living ones, the ones that we've unfortunately lost, for their bravery. It's very important to know that we are strong, not just in the east of our country, where it's really hard, but we are also strong inside the nation, inside our state. We are united, we are mobilized because we are motivated. It was not us who started the war, but it is us who will have to end it on our land, having it deoccupied.
And already this morning, Volodymyr Zelenskyy showed during the Ukrainian breakfast how he knows how to use Russian weapons against them. In February, when Russian troops were approaching Kyiv, propagandist Russian media declared, one in front of the other, that Zelenskyy's daily recordings were edited, made in advance and recorded somewhere in a studio. Although at that time the president of Ukraine recorded a video from Bankova together with other politicians. But when was Putin last seen in public? Probably back in September, during concerts in Moscow. But it is not yet a fact that it was not a double. At the same time, Zelenskyy gave more than one interview, met face-to-face with many leaders in Ukraine, the United States and Poland. But the head of the Kremlin appears in the media either alone, in front of the screen, or surrounded by people who have already played various roles. Ice cream sellers, Arctic researchers, mothers of the dead. In the New Year's address, military personnel.
Не зовсім розумію, з ким ми маємо справу. Тому, коли ми кажемо I don't quite understand to who to talk to and about what. I'm not sure that the president of Russia who sometimes appears on the chroma key, that is him. I don't quite understand that he's alive, or what he makes decision, or who makes decision there, what kind of circle of people. I do not have such information. I don't quite understand how you can promise European leaders one thing and the next day begin a full-scale invasion of our country. I just don't quite understand who we are dealing with. When we say peace talks, I don't quite understand with whom. We are communicating with you now. You know exactly who I am, and I know exactly who you are. There are witnesses of our life, and even if we talk about different things, we can reach a consensus. It seems to me that Russia should first find someone and then offer something.
According to him, the end of the war depends on the strength of Ukraine, the support of international partners and the Russian society itself, which must admit mistakes, retreat, respect the status of the UN and the sovereignty of our country. This is the wrong strategy. I will give thanks if anyone will give thanks. I'm a powerful European country, but I will help if another powerful country helps. The president added that there can be no selectivity regarding the strengthening of the Ukrainian army, because Ukraine protects European values without selectivity. Zelenskyy also reminded that Ukraine needs long-range weapons, and we are not talking about an attack on Russian territory, but about the protection of Ukrainian land. And he gave the example of Kherson, which is systematically bombarded by the Russian from Ukrainian territory, and Ukraine cannot prevent them. There is a list of weapons that our partners have. There is a letter from us where it is written that we need. If you want to help, help without dialogues. Give us the weapons we need and we will get our lands back. Ukraine prepares to present the results of the implementation of all 7 recommendations of the European Commission at the Ukraine-EU summit on February the 3rd. We expect a positive assessment of our efforts by the EU. By providing Ukraine with candidate status last year, all EU member states made it clear that Ukraine will join the European Union. Despite Russia's full-scale invasion, Ukraine continues to successfully transform itself and looks forward to opening accession talks. Ukraine's membership in the EU is the bloc's best strategic interest. As an EU member state, Ukraine will significantly strengthen the security of Europe and its global standing. Ukraine will also become a new success story of the European project as such.
I would like to reiterate that you can count on the European Union. The people in the European Union, they know very well that the Ukrainians are fighting, are resisting for your own future, for the future of your children. But you know, and we know very well that the Ukrainians are also fighting for the security of Europe and also for the dreams of all Europeans, for the promises of the EU, which is peace and prosperity. We took a few months ago a fundamental decision when we decided to grant the candidate status to Ukraine, and I would like us, together with the Ukrainians, to do everything to make progress in order to make sure that the dream will become reality.
As an EU member state, Ukraine will strengthen Europe's food security, contribute to the implementation of the European Green Deal, digital governance, boost cyber security and resilience to hybrid threats, as well as many other areas where Ukraine and EU make each other stronger. In the wake of Russian aggression, it is crucial to further strengthen Ukraine's defense capabilities and ensure uninterrupted international security assistance. Peace, security and stability of Europe is impossible to imagine without a strong and combat-ready Ukraine. Ways to further strengthen Ukraine will also be in the focus of the summit.
What to expect? I think we're all waiting for some clearer signals of when the European Union accession negotiations will start and what the next steps will be, because we would like not to wait until October to check the previous steps, but to start, for example, in March. It is important that the Ukraine-EU summit will take place not in Brussels, as was previously planned, but in Kyiv. This is also a signal that the European Union is serious about cooperation with Ukraine and sees it as a member of the European Union. Of course, we'll still have to pass laws, but we need to start formal accession negotiations, and this, I hope, will happen this year.
Ukraine's post-war recovery and reconstruction will be based on EU norms and standards. This will become another topic of discussion at the summit too, considering the perspective of the most important role the EU will play in this process. That concludes our today's video. Thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for future videos. Subscribe to UATV English and goodbye.